Welcome everybody to another podcast episode. This is a real spontaneous one. I'm with my boy Young Issy right now. We are Evolution. I
Sure.
think that this is going to be a very, very special episode for y'all that's tuning in. Um, and we just got into a great conversation even before this recording actually started, highlighting on a lot of things. And the vibe that I'm from this conversation that we're going to be getting into is on individuation and individuality and how important that is, and especially in times right now. It's super copy and paste out here. You don't you ain't going, you know what I mean? I this is something I didn't bring up as a point of conversation. First and foremost, I'd like you to introduce yourself. Let the world know who you are, Young Issy.
What's up? What's happening? It's the Young Issy, baby. What's going on? We are Evolution. Forward thinking only, no hesitation. And if you don't know who I am Young Issy. I'm a rule breaker. I like to break the rules out here. But let me clarify what I mean by that. I mean by going against the rules that you created for yourself while you was growing up. Young Vicious Tiger, all-star lifestyle. That's who I do. That's what I represent. I represent individuality and autonomy and thinking for yourself. Break the programming, break your algorithm, break the algorithm of this world. And that's me. I'm grateful to be here. Respect to Daryl. Respect to the channel. Respect to everyone that's viewing this. Great person right here.
No, I appreciate it. The one thing that I did want to ask you,
Yes,
before we even pop this, before we even started recording this, is asking you about the fear of going in the direction that you decided to commit to when you very first started off. Before you knew you was going to get to this point and have the influence that you have and everything. Like, what was that mindset like when you decided that you was going to commit to this?
It was like this unshakable clarity moment of confidence. Like it's kind of like, not even kind of like, it was my future self, the version I've seen of me in the future, basically just grabbed me by my shoulder and said, we're going to do this. And you may feel afraid at this moment, but we're going to do it. It's creating this and then starting it for real and having people view you for who you are authentically. It can be scary as fuck. You know, it's a different type of feeling, especially in the beginning, because you're still getting your feet wet. So I was like, you know what, we still gonna do it. That's where it was. And now the person who grabbed me by the shoulder, which was the future self, is now the person you guys see on the screen. So it took me to a good place.
That's deep.
Yeah.
On some real talk. Yeah. It was about, I want to say 3 podcasts ago. It's OD that you just mentioned that. I talked about that and the greater personality, because I did something OD, right? Yeah. I've been doing voice memos on my phone, and I've been journaling down like voice memos I started doing probably back in like 2018, talking to like my future self about my goals and aspirations and all of that, and writing stuff down, like, you know what I mean? And back in like, I want to say like 2015 or whatever. And I put all of this together, bro. I decided to put all of this together. So it was like 8 years worth of, like, I looked at it as like information, but I'm like, bro, once I look back through this, it's a certain story I've been telling myself for the last 8 years. What does this story look like? And then I realized, like what you just said, that greater personality that was like sitting there and was just like, yo. But at the time, in the very beginning, the energy wasn't up like, oh man, like I know what this is. It was just like, yo, I know what direction I gotta go in. It's mad dark. I don't even know what it really looked like, but something telling me I gotta go in this direction, like right here. And one of the real life experiences that I had, which is like, I guess on this platform, it's like turning into like a broken record story, was when I first went to Girona in Spain to play basketball. I broke my phone, and I had all my information on that joint to get out there, and I never left the country before. Yeah. So that was like one of those where it was just like, yo, you gotta go, bro. You gotta trust your gut. And you got to listen to this personality that's telling you to go. And I did, and it changed my life. But ultimately speaking, in those moments, man, when you real life in those moments and you like, bro, this is going to make me or break me. I think that for the most part, we all should be pushed in that, and that really genuinely brings out something authentic within yourself, and it brings out the best in you, whether you see it in the moment or not. It's like it's mad important to listen to that. Now, did you have like any like outside influences to help you influence you to go in that direction in a good or bad way, or is it one of those where it's just like it just popped up?
It popped up. I've always been like this. Like I've always had my own direction, and I've always been like ahead, and I've always like knew it. It was always, firstly, for everyone that's listening, and what started me is that you just got to have it in you first, and then once you start telling people or you start, confiding in other like mentors and stuff, they will show you direction and help you how to structure. Now I've seen other people that would have like, so yes, there was outside influences that I would see that would teach similar things in their own way. That was like, okay, if they're able to do it, I'm gonna ask questions and then move forward with that and then keep going. Also, I want to mention that, bro, you call it greater personality, that's fire as hell. I've never heard of that term. Like, that's so cool. Like, because I usually just say like a future self thing, but greater personality, that's dope as hell. And
oh, my bad. Yeah, keep going. Go crazy.
I want to mention something as you were saying, because I tweeted this earlier, and I said, now I created in my notes as well, but I said every movement has to be directed from your future self. So everything must be intentional, and that's how my mentality has been for the last like 3 to 6 months. Is that everything that I do, every day that I think, is being communicated and directed by the person that's light years ahead, which is the greater personality, like you were saying. But everything that I'm doing right now, how I speak, what I say, how I move, how I present myself, the connection that I'm creating, the time that I take over here in this restaurant or networking, it's all being directed from over there.
And I think you ain't lying. My thing with what I try to present, because I also be doing like workshops and lectures as well, centered around like personal development and purpose. And it's a hard thing, yo. Like I said, for what you experience, it's a hard thing for people to experience it for themselves. This is why we got like it's mad nutty how many self-help books that we got out here that's saying the same BS, you know what I'm saying? But they ain't doing that for nobody. Exactly. Yeah. Because people ain't, and what you just said, bro, because you talking and you just hitting me with flashes as well. But intention, bro. Intention. And it's crazy.
I love that shit. Intentions, bro. Yes, bro. In every single aspect. Like everything that I say is intentional, but it's come to a place where I'm not even trying to be intentional. I've built myself up to talk and move intentionally. Like that, it's not to a place where I can trust myself. Like everything that I say would just be because I know I can say it, and because I know I'm not gonna say nothing fucking stupid.
You have to, you know what I mean? That's real. What you just said. You got to come to like a real deep place in yourself to seriously find that. And the one thing that I try to convey with my message, and what I try to get people to learn from other people that I've researched or that influenced me or influenced the world, is just that it started in a mind's eye first, and everything in the mind's eye first start with an idea, and then from this idea you're gonna need a plan, and then from the plan you're gonna need behaviors and actions that align with it. And then to make this joint come full circle, bro, to make it come full circle, you need to put this in a place where a setting where you can nurture the idea, the plan, and the behavior. And I call this whole thing the intention compass. And it literally looks like a compass.
Your names are amazing, bro. Like greater personality, intention coming. Like, bro, that's so far, bro. Keep going, bro. This is hard, bro.
Bro, it's actually kind of crazy.
That is so far.
I created like a little guidebook for people that's having a hard time coming up with like the right goal and coming up with purpose. Cause like I'm seeing now more than ever, bro. Real talk, bro. That's why I say like, and I don't say this, I really don't say stuff like this lightly, that what you're doing is very important. And the reason why I say I don't take this like super lightly is that it's people out there that genuinely they don't have no meaning in their life, bro. And people are really real life out here trying to off themselves, bro, and trying to find a reason to hang on what, like, they think this is a joke, bro.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's something, like, you know what I mean? I take mad serious, because it's a lot of people that's near and dear to me, who feel that way. And unfortunately, this is the crazy thing about life, bro. It's never those people that's closest to you that you can help. It's always somebody elsewhere that, you know what I mean, you ain't even think. You know what I'm saying? And that's the crazy thing with life, bro. But that's what comes with, you know, the importance of, like, I'm highlighting you specifically of what you're doing, because it's a lot of people out there that a light need to be shined on them. And not only that, you also showing that, you know what I mean, being your own trailblazer, not only is that important, you know, that's like everything to you and your authenticity. Because like, real talk, bro, I'm going on a little rant, you know what I mean? But
hey, man, we here on your channel. We here to talk, bro. That's what we do.
Nah, that's respect, bro. That's respect, Izzy. But it's life is like we all snowflakes, bro. We all one-to-one, and that I can't even. We don't look at the same thing and look at the same thing, if you know what I mean. Like,
yes, sir.
For example, somebody looked at a tree and was like, bro, this is a picnic table. Yeah. And somebody else looked at a tree and was like, you know what I mean? I could build a log cabin with this. Yeah. So we don't, and that's, it's that right there. That shows how important our mind's eye is, and how intentional that we have to be. Because this is obviously, we live in a grand design. Science and all of that will teach you that this is mechanical, and this all happened by chance. And religion to tell you that, you know what I mean, you gotta wait till after you die to experience the greatness of this. And there's a middle way between both of those, you know what I mean? And I think that when you experience your own authenticity, you're gonna find that, because you're being intentional about the truth that you came here to live. And you, for example, you accepted that challenge, bro. That's the hardest challenge to accept, is being you. You feel me?
Yeah, bro. I gotta say something you just, like, what you just said, like, when you come into this world, now you get to find your authenticity or discover what that is, bro. I wrote a line, because I'm also a performer recording artist. Young Issy Cartel, that's the artist name. Shout out.
Come on, rack them up.
Come on, man. What's up with it? We out here doing everything. I'm taking all the plates. It's a buffet. But nah, I have a line where I say, self-fulfilling task is what they see, but what they can't realize is being like this, it comes with a legacy. I think, whatever's accountable, I gotta go out that shit first. I'm one of a kind. I'm making my dream work while y'all work for dream work. Who the fuck prophesized me to be this leader when I was a small sperm? A question for God. You left me with a big mission while I'm living on this earth. Self-fulfilling task is what they see, but what they can't is being like this. You really had to leave a legacy. Can't be a sheep. This land isn't for the weak, but you know that. And that's like my first 8 bars, because what you said is real. Because
that was real.
This goes back to a big topic that I speak on. We are Evolution, Young Issy over here. Evolution, subscribe to the channel. Shout out. You know what I mean? But
yeah, we're gonna be putting that all in the description below.
Yes, sir. But you know, I'll be used to like plugging in my shit. But
talk crazy.
I'm big on selfishness, and what the world sees is selflessness, and what I'm doing and how I come off, whatever the case is. Because in order to be the greatest and the best, you must be seen as a villain. Like, you're not gonna be seen like that from all people, but it's the truth. So if people can see that, maybe it's a self-fulfilling task. And part of that is, yes, it is a self-fulfilling task, because what got me to this point is that I discovered me, and I discovered excuse me for the background, but
you got
what I discovered is my fucking purpose. I discovered what drives me, what's the passion, what I'm great at, what I'm here to do. So yes, that's a self-fulfilling task, but because it's self-fulfilling, and because I come from a place of genuine authenticity and honesty, that it's now transformed into something selfless. So, but people can see in a different view, because society sees someone who is selfish as a self-fulfilling task. But what they can't But what they don't see is being like this. You really have to leave a legacy. Can't be a sheep. This land is for the weak. Real shit.
No, it's not, bro. And that's like that's like real talk, bro. Mm-hmm. And I think that personally speaking, man, and not even personally speaking, it's just simply a fact at this point. Now I'm about to just speak boldly. But when you got the majority of the masses in their minds, when you keep them down low, it's a fact that they're easier to control, bro. That's like sheep.
Yeah.
And thinking outside the box, of course. Why would they let us do that?
Why? You get like
real talk.
And like I was speaking with Daryl backstage, you guys. So I'm gonna inform you what I was saying too is that there can't be many people like us. There can't be many people that rise above the surface that think outside the box. Now we promote it because we see greatness in others. You just gotta discover that value for yourself. But what I'm saying is that if there was people that constantly think the way we do and move that and keep moving forward with it, this world would be in a total different place. But everything has its place, such as winners and losers, such as shepherds and sheeps. It's the same thing. You got the all-star players, and then you got the motherfuckers on the bench that only play 1 minute, score 1 fucking point. Yeah, bro. It's a balance, and I had to accept that part, that it is a balance. Like there can't be 100%. And as much as we want to, but it can't. It sucks, but it's real.
It's one of those things where I've been having these conversations a lot with people as of late, where this is something that's like highly disagreeable among people, and I kind of get them butthurt when I tell them, like, you know what I mean? Stop, don't go for happiness. Like, I just want to be happy. And what you just said is the main reason why I highlight emotions. Don't let your emotions guide your decisions, because in order for you to feel that joy, you gotta feel some pain. You gotta feel the opposite end of that to know what that actually is. And you gotta ride that middle way. That's everything. Like the goal is everything. So with purpose served, I'll break it down into like three different things, 3 simple aspects. And I go down a real deep rabbit hole based off of these 3 things. And you need purpose in your life. You need a reason. You need a goal, because a goal gives you a direction, an aim to go towards. And you need a service, because you're taking action. You're building a foundation. Absolutely. Most people got goals, but they don't feel like acting on them. Most people, they have purpose, but they have purpose with no goals. You know what I mean? So they don't really get nowhere. So it's like it's a delicate, like one of the words you just used, like balance that you gotta have, bro, when it comes to life, when it comes to being authentic, when it comes to being an individual. And it's a lifelong thing. Like it's you know what I mean? Like we in these battlegrounds until we reach our expiration date. You know what I'm saying? Real talk.
Yeah, most definitely. And I wrote this down too, because you know I do the same thing. Like I got so much things just come and it's meant for me to have, so I put it down. So I'm gonna share this with you guys. It's gonna become a live in an episode that I'm gonna do soon on my channel. But I said irresponsibility equals you don't want it that bad. That's what irresponsibility is, bro. Like, and shout out to my mentor, Respect. I was speaking with him like it was like a week or 2, but it was before then. But he was basically telling me how great I've been improving, which I appreciate. And he was but before he was like, you're being irresponsible as fuck, and I need you to pick up your fucking slack. And what he meant by that was that if you're out here waking up at 2 p.m. or having hangovers or not feeling like you need to do something, not going to the gym, not going to make some money, and it's nothing about the external things, but what I'm getting at is that you have a purpose to serve. Goes back to your name. So he was like, you're being irresponsible to yourself, but most importantly to this world, to the community that you're building, to the people that need to hear your fucking voice. So he's like, do you want this shit the way you want, the way you say, or are you being fucking dumb? And my mentor could talk to me like this, because it's all mental toughness, by the way, y'all. It's all mental toughness. It's nothing malicious, all out of love. But that's what irresponsibility means. You just don't want it that bad, bro. That's all it is.
It's crazy that you said that, because now I gotta going back to what I was like talking about earlier with the greater personality. This is something that I wrote to myself back in 2016. I just got booked. So now I'm at rock bottom. I'm like, yo, what am I doing with my life, bro? How did I get in this situation, bro? Yo, like, what's going on? And what you just said, that's what I wrote to myself. And this was, 2016. Yeah. So now I'm about to read this out loud. This is in the mind of Daryl in 2016. Yep. And I wrote down self-discipline is a tool that you, Daryl, in caps and parentheses, need in order for your plan to work. This would be the hardest, most difficult first step that you will ever take. Every time you act on impulse and it doesn't regard you playing basketball or make you a better person, reference this letter. You have personally wasted time, and that alone hurts you in the long run. But it's not too late. God put you on this earth to pursue your dreams. Be prepared to accept doubt from the others. Know that what you're doing is scary, but I know you. You have always been fearless, even when you thought you weren't. You come from humble beginnings, and you have purpose. The past nor the future matters. It is what you do in this moment that truly defines if you really want it as bad as you say you do. Happiness awaits you once you make it to the other side. God bless. From Daryl Wingfield. P.S. Nobody on the face of the earth, on planet Earth, believe in you like I do. And I had no idea what I was writing to myself, bro. This rock bottom. I'm trying to pick myself up. And
oh my God, deja vu. Wow.
that's
I just crazy. Had it. Wow.
That's a huge
accident. Before. This is amazing.
That goes to show we're going to say this live and direct that everything happens for a reason. So we were meant to have this conversation at this time, for real. And something like that, I would have never thought that I'd be reading this to somebody else and also at some point making this public. But all in all, like I didn't know that was still a part of me. At this point, I'm trying to chase a basketball dream. I didn't even know if I was capable of playing professional and going overseas, and not knowing that I was about to be doing that in a couple of months when everybody was like, yo, you know what I mean? UPS is hiring, go to the post office. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm going out with this hoop dream. Yeah. And even to this day, I advise kids that's like, look at my journey and see, what I went through and everything. And they think like, oh man, I want to do that. And I'm like, don't try it. You got to find your own way. Just because I did it and it looked cool and it looked a certain way, I wouldn't advise you to do this. And that's like some of those things that even before we started rolling, that the traps that I'm seeing that we get conditioned with is just that, you know what I mean? Sports is going to be the way out. Music is going to be the way out. And that's a part of the form of expression to a certain extent. But we got to also look at the plays that's going on to keep our minds at a low state and keep us not being able to think for ourselves, not being able to think that there's other ways out other than this. We are mad creative. And it's kind of wild, bro. This is something I've been dwelling on for like, I don't want to say like the last like week and a half or so, is to really, really understand that the stuff that's most valuable to us was given to us for free. No cap, bro. No cap.
Respect.
And this gives value to the things that we see on the outside to make us determine, you know what I mean? What that thing is actually worth, when this is worth everything to determine what the worth is on the outside.
Exactly.
And I'm trying to debunk that high key as best as I possibly can, man, and get people to show like what you going through on the inner and how you think it is feeling is way more important than anything that's going on outside of you. And that's a really, really hard, especially for the younger people to see, because we've been bamboozled to think in the total opposite way, where it's just like externally, you know what I mean, getting validated by the clothes that you're wearing and all of that. But once you get real, for those that's real deep involved in that, you get to a point where it starts to make you feel real worse and real crazy because you feel like you can't even keep up with your own self,
Exactly.
And that's what I'm trying to avoid with the next generation, so their soul won't get deleted, man. For real.
Yeah. And then that's why like you said, that's why you got individuals such as ourselves to show that. And one thing I'll point out too, to add on top of that, is that so someone can see me right now and be like, okay, he got jewelry, or maybe he got his thing, maybe whatever the case is, and that looks fine. Externally, they're like, that's value. But here's the thing: I created this image of myself, though. Like, yes, I had genetics of certain things. You can't control how your body looks when it goes up. Of course, you can work out and stuff like that. Whatever the case is. But what I'm saying is that to add on the value, our mind is the value, and because it's how you were saying, it's the connected, and now we're creating something like this, all from here, here.
Word up.
It's a beautiful thing because it goes so deep into it, and people want to stay on a surface level, but they want that. But what they need is to get that depth, and we're able to bring it because we're connected with ourselves. Someone I was speaking on a live, and they were talking about inner truth, and it was just like I learned that I live my inner truth. Internally, I'm great with it, and then externally, it shows out and manifests in that certain way. And I also want to add something, because you were talking about how you take it serious, how people have a life and they want to off themselves. I was speaking with a gentleman the other day, and he's, I believe, 23, and we were speaking, and he was like, he wants to kill himself, basically. And I was like, listen, I was like, why? Like, what's going on? I'm talking to him. He doesn't know what I do, but I was just talking with him. And he was like, I'm not my best self. I'm not the best version of me. I'm working to be like, I'm trying. First of all, anyone listening and you on my side, we never say trying. There's no such thing as trying. It's either you're doing it or you're not.
Come on, talk crazy.
So when I was talking with him, I was like, bro, listen to me. You may not even take this, I don't know, whatever the fuck. After this, it's never been in my hands, but just listen to what I'm saying. The true value, and this for everybody, because I say this a lot in my lives, but the true value is present. The true value is accepting that right now I may not be my best self, but that is value. Your best version of yourself is like a tactic, a condition to be like, there's something that you got to chase to be when you already are the fucking value. When you this moment right now is the true value. Like, I can't, you see, we fired up, but it's some real shit.
Yeah, because like that's crazy.
That's what they do, though. Like, that is a tactic to get you away from yourself, to get that interconnectedness in. Is they think that you're supposed to be this perfect version. You know what's perfect is me right now in this moment. Like, that is the true value. Is within. Is this moment. There's nothing you should be chasing, because why would you chase the greatness that you think you should be when you already are the greatness? You just got to see that in this moment right now, I am greatness. And sure, your life may not look like this.
Go crazy.
Not have that. You may not have that house you want, that car. Fuck all that external shit. The value is up here, all that shit, bro. Like, dog, wake the fuck up. Like, come on, get up. We got shit to do. Let's go. And if you're not coming, you're gonna be left behind.
You're gonna be left behind, straight up.
You're gonna see me at the finish line. And then after the finish line, after the race, or after whatever the case you want to call it, I'm gonna go back to the gym and start getting right. And then the only thing on me pop out is when they do the celebration photo shoots, or you see me in victories, or you see women in my arms, whatever the case is. But I got to that point, and to this point right now, it's because I fucking know that I am valuable. There is greatness inside of me. There's nothing I'm chasing. The only if there's anything that I'm following is the greater personality, like Daryl says. It's that. But why do you think there's this future self or this greater personality? Because it's you. Yeah. So what are we doing? Let's go. Let's get up. Come on. We got shit to do. Straight up. Come on, get right, get big. Let's go.
Come on,
turn
me up. But that's it. It's ridiculous, bro. Because I tell you what, this is what I'm saying, that people got to experience this first, like firsthand. Because what you just said, it's a fact. But when somebody don't experience that, they think that you know what I mean, that future self, the greater personality, is removed from them. When it's like, bro, I'm everything and some for you, literally right now, and I'm waiting on you to accept it.
Just do me a favor. Do something you've never done in your life before and see the greatness inside of yourself. Because here's the truth, motherfuckers, and I'm going to talk to y'all for real. And this is why I'm going to be seen as any type of way. But another part is I don't give a fuck. But the reason that y'all can't or won't be like that is because you guys are scared to look like you're good. People are scared to feel like they're great. People run away. And you know how I can relate to that and say that? Because I used to do that. I was afraid of looking better than people. I was afraid of being more successful than those around me. I was afraid of being this confident person because I was scared that my light's going to shine harder than anybody's. And the truth is, it does. But it can never, if your light is your light and you shine it the way you shine it. So there's no such thing. You know what I mean? But that's why my shit's gonna shine. That's why I'm gonna be great. And that's why I'm able to move in this place, bro, in this moment right now. Because of that. Because I'm not afraid of looking great, bro. Not even looking. Because looking is just one thing. I'm being great.
Come on, man.
Being great, bro. Come on now. This is what a winner fucking talks like. And I believe every single person can talk that way. Every single person. Every single one. I'm not knocking nobody.
The person that started that mindset of what you just said, for me personally, and the reason why, like a whole lot of my journey started off was through Kobe Bryant and the mindset that dog had, bro. Dog, a straight up dog. So when I was going through those crucibles where I thought they was like the biggest issues of the world, bro, not playing for my freaking high school team, when I thought that was the biggest thing that I ever go through. But in my mindset, I said, they gonna pay, bro. Everybody gonna pay. Yeah. Somebody's gonna pay for this. Yeah. It's like, it's not gonna be funny after a while. And it's crazy, you know what I mean? In a long shot, you know, paying homage to him. Yeah. That and everybody, you know, looked at him like, yo, this dude's an asshole straight up. But they didn't know why. Nobody ever asked the question why. They never asked the question, why is somebody like that? Why?
Yes. Why are you thinking this way? Why are you moving this way, bro?
And now after the fact, it take this man retiring. It take this man, you know what I mean? Something tragically happened to him. Now it's just like, oh, let's appreciate, you know, greatness. But you guys hated his guts when he was alive because he was cocky. He was arrogant. But now it's just like, yo, that mindset is everything. And it's just like what you just said, it highlights to the Mamba mentality, you know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, I don't care. Thick or thin, I'm going to be this person, whether you like it or not. And I'm going to show that I'm that guy. I'm ready to be that guy.
If you're in my way, I'm going to run you the fuck over. So move the fuck out my way. Don't get in my lane. You're not built for this shit. That's the mentality, dog. But you need that shit. You need to have that mentality, because regardless that people respect me, we got individuals such as ourselves, like-minded people, they're going to respect and uplift that. But there's going to be people that's going to be like, I don't want him to talk this way about himself. Because why? Why does he talk way about himself? Like you said, no one asks why. They just judge. And that's the fucking losers. Is that y'all on the surface level, you see arrogance, like you're saying, you see conceit. You think this motherfucker's a narcissist. You think all that shit, egotistical. He has such a big head. He's full of himself. Here's the real thing. I am full of myself. And I think you should be full of yourself. Because if you're full of yourself, then you're full of self-love. You're full of who you are, passion, desire, all that shit. So yes.
It makes that yo, I'm pretty sure, you know what I mean? And I could tell, you know what I mean, by your energy, you know, first experience, when like that type of energy is one or two things, and there's no gray about it. It either really attract people or repels people, bro. It make people like, yo, I want to be a part of that, or it makes them feel super uncomfortable, bro. And for me personally in my life, I can easily at this point right off the bat recognize who that makes feel, you know what I mean, uncomfortable. And make people, once you recognize the truth in yourself. I was having a conversation with my mans about this not too long ago, where once you're real honest with yourself, bro, you can't be more honest with yourself. You're gonna see when people lying to themselves right off the rip, bro. As soon as they start flapping their gums, you're gonna be like, ooh, you ain't keeping it real, yo. You was not keeping it real. And for me at this point, before, I wasn't keeping it real with myself, and that's how I ended up in a lot of situations. I was trying to fit a mold that wasn't me, but you're going to be uncomfortable regardless, whether you're trying to fit a mold that's not you or whether you're trying to be you. So you might as well go out. You might as well go out, you know what I'm saying, going all in with yourself. Instead of, you know what I mean, playing it safe. You know what I'm saying? Working a job that you know you're about to be miserable at for the
Yeah.
rest of your life, being with somebody that you can't stand, but you just used to being around her, you used to being around him, all of these type of things, because you complacent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what you're just saying, you're not trying to win.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know what I mean, you won't come across as a jerk. You won't come across as like one of them when you really trying to win and you really trying to succeed, and people don't want that from you. That's another thing that people gotta know. Like, don't let people hold you back from your own success, because they for one have an experience for themselves. So due to the fact that they didn't experience, they're gonna do everything in their power to pull you away from that and pull you towards what they know. Dangerous. That's so dangerous, yo. And they be the ones that love you, that be the ones doing it.
Exactly. And I'm grateful, and I love this, and I'm just there's a word for it, but there's I'm grateful that my family supports me. Like, I'm grateful they uplift it. Like, they're like, you know, you do got a big head, but like, we appreciate what you're still doing. Like, I'm grateful that I have that. Fortunate.
That's love. That's love right there.
I'm fortunate that I'm able to have people in my corner that love that. And of course there's other people that don't, but I don't give a fuck about them. Straight up, man. But no, that's some real shit. And I do want to say this, like, actually, you know what? I put this on my live the other day and actually put it in my story, but I made a live and I say this, and you can nod your head, you can disagree to the people that's going to watch this, but society doesn't like confidence. People don't like confidence. People want you to be just as miserable as them. I don't want to relate to y'all. Like, there's like only way to relate is we relate on enhancement, on different things that are happening in our lives. Of course, we're meant to be different. We do different things, but I can only be around like-minded individuals. I don't see anything else of that, because that doesn't align with the greater personality. So society doesn't like confidence, no matter what they say. Just like how you speaking on Kobe, respect to him and his family, but just his whole mentality, the whole way of moving. Oh, he's a dickhead. He's cocky. That's just confidence. But society doesn't like that, because that means you're not like me. That means you're not a sheep. What are you? You're the color in the gray. You know what I mean? You're yellow. You're red. But you're not one of You don't think and move like this. But motherfuckers don't really like confidence like that. They just say they do. But when you see a winner like myself or like Daryl, they're gonna be like, the fuck? Like, this, I don't know if I really like him like that. Why you think? It's a condition, bro.
It is. And one of the things is, like, one dude I mentioned a lot. I study his works, is Carl Jung. And
great one. Great philosopher.
And the one thing from looking at his stuff is just like, you can definitely see when something is unconscious to somebody and it gets brought up to the like conscious to the forefront, and they can't pinpoint what it is. They can't associate that with that, because this is new to them. And most people, majority of people, they scared of that energy, bro. They super scared of it. And right now, which is like kind of crazy, we got a lot of that going on due to the fact of like social media. We getting exposed to so much new stuff like on a daily. And case in point, right? Shout out to Young Issy. I want to be using StreamYard right now if it wasn't for him. He put me on. He literally put me on. So that's like one of those things in regards to what I'm talking about. But you can either choose to accept it or you can choose to reject it, and you know what I mean, live a more difficult life. People got to roll with the times right now, and if you're going to get left behind if you don't roll with them, and not only that, you're going to get trampled to the people that's going to be out here and make a say while you sitting on the sidelines and not playing the game. You got to play the game of life. You just can't be on the sideline watching other people play the game eventually for you, making decisions for you. That's what's going on right now. And don't have it be too late for some of y'all. It already is.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. There's a when you saying that, like, the game of life, like that's basically what everything is. And because I've come to that truth, at first it was extremely uncomfortable, because I'm like, damn, like, this is the real raw truth. Like, there's a game of life and there's a way to play it. Shout out, I forgot the author. It's called The Game of Life and How to Play It. But what I learned, it hit me out of nowhere, and I have a video about it. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just be the best player, a player, because I'm like, if you talk about being a player, playing ain't about the money, ain't about the clothes, ain't about your status. Being a player of life is knowing that you have a vehicle or your vessel, however people want to say it, in this world, and you're created to create and to make a movement or impact. And that's being the best player. And I have a line in a lot of things you were saying goes back to the song I have. It's called Courtside Seats, but it's like, I have court seats to my own life, wondering why he not playing right, wondering what's going on inside his mind. Thinking to myself that I could take his title. I paused for a moment, then it hit me. I'm looking at myself without change. I'm looking at myself with the old thoughts, old lies, old wise in the same lane. Critiquing myself with shame and blame. I'm seeing there's a cycle that's in all of us. Maybe I was saying I should call it quits. I'm focused on never going to fall for it. I got to keep my head inside the game. But it was just that was like, before what I was saying, I was talking from a perspective of someone sitting on a bench, but I was looking at myself, like I was looking at me and being like, why is he playing? Why is he not playing right? I could take it. I could play better than him. And then I looked back and I was like, wait, I was like, I paused for a moment, then it hit me. I was looking at myself without change. I was looking at myself with the old thoughts, old eyes, old ways, critiquing myself with shame and blame. Because that right there, the stuff, the blame and critique, like I think it's great to critique yourself. That's good. That's how you improve. However, but when it comes to a place of negativity, then that is society as a whole. That's how people relate, because misery loves company, you know the saying. But the thing is that's society. Society is relatable to self-blame, to shame and critique.
That's real talk, bro.
Real,
and
bro. It's real.
And people now, like, you know what I mean, you know, like talking about frequencies and all of that, but they don't even understand how deep that actually get. And it's just like we real life, as we look at the shows that we consuming, the music that we consuming, it's conditioning us to steal, lie, cheat, kill, murder, the whole nine. It's not like what you were just talking about with enhancement and everything. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm over here, like, you know what I mean, I ain't consuming any app, because I am.
I know I'll be good.
Word, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna sit over here and act like that, but I do recognize what it does to my energy, you know what I'm saying? And I do recognize what it collectively does, like, over time. And then after that, I'm seeing that not only must we like live for ourselves, and we talked about this earlier, it's like we gotta live for ourselves through other people, and you can't do that if you don't start with yourself first. But a lot of times, like, we got, you know what I mean, these kids that's also in unfortunate situations because, you know what I mean, their parents got something personal going on within each other. And now this kid about to grow up in a crazy situation and most likely pass down the same thing to their kids.
Yes, sir.
And I know for a fact, like, I'm a part of a generation with family where that is the case. And I can't blame my parents or my parents' parents. It's just the cards that was dealt. But I'm also recognizing, like, other people that's like in these type of situations where they don't even understand. They unconsciously moving through life without realizing that they fucking everybody over, bro.
Yes.
And a change, like a change got to happen, man. Yeah. You know, sooner rather than later.
I mean, this is what it is. This is the change right now, because even from my family, like, I'm the first man in my family that it's actually wild. I mean, there's other people, but on my dad's side is an abuser. Like, they were abusing women. It was a huge thing from my family's like line, like my dad's side. All you know, they were tricking, they were buying pussy, they were hitting women, abusing them, and all that stuff, lying, being deceitful. Now, I'm not gonna say I didn't grow up as a fucking manipulator, because I definitely did at one point, but I'm the first in my family to not be that way, to not, like, I don't need to be deceitful to get a woman. You shouldn't even lie to get pussy. I think that's wild. But yeah, I don't.
But you gotta think that's a thing out here, man.
I know, but it's like, bro, you gonna lie for something that's so easy to get? Like, you don't need to do that. Just present yourself, create the opportunity. And plus, why you going? Bro, go for the mind, man. It's all sex is mental, dog. Come on, get up, get big, right? Nah, but what I'm saying is that from my like from my family, I'm definitely the first man to like start a new direction and a new legacy, and even evaluating that and reflecting on it, and you saying that showed me that I was like, wow, like it's happening for me in this moment right now. Like this is what changes. This is the impact. We're gonna be reaching new heights, new people in general. So this is what it looks like to the viewers that's doing this, and anyone and everyone can do the same thing. You just must know that. Shout out to Spider-Man, but great. Was it great powers?
Great comes with great responsibility.
Yes, it does, and it's true, and it's the same thing. You know what I mean? And it goes back to irresponsibility and all that stuff. Because I was like, damn, fuck responsibility. You know, at one point I'm like, man, I don't care about that. But then I realized like it keep. Here. I'm gonna put you onto something, because this actually just came to me, and what I noticed my true purpose and true way was that even if I had steered off and I was like, maybe I was partying a little bit more, maybe I was sleeping around a little more, maybe I was just off course what I was doing. When that moment comes to yourself and you're like, I'm getting off track about X, Y, and Z, that is the one you need to keep following. Because even though the times I got off track and I was focused on more superficial things, that when I got back to myself, maybe I'm at home, maybe I'm just chilling right now, and I'm just maybe just sitting to myself or sitting on the bed before I go to sleep. That voice, the thought will come back to you, that vision. It'll just be like, but wait, what about this? So that's what I realized that is my calling, is that. So for the people that has that, when you sit with yourself that moment, when you stop being all fast and shit, that voice, that thought, that's the direction you need to go to, and be responsible with that. Because if you don't, and I'm saying this to myself now too, because I'm still upgrading. Like there's still some things I can get sharper on. Like I'm still sharp, like a motherfucker. Like, I'll cut you if you were next to me, but I still got more to work and improve on. But yes, that's you. It's like being summoned for something greater, and you need to continue to follow that. Because if not, you're a disgrace. Basically, you're a disgrace to yourself. You're a disgrace to the creator. You're a disgrace to your family, the community that you're building. You're going to let people down. And I believe that you should keep going. Find that fucking voice. We got things to do. Let's go.
It's crazy. Like the fact that you just did that, it was going to lead to like my next question of what I was going to ask you, because like first and foremost, what you just said was that was real, bro. That was real in every sense, bro. But even with that, it really, from my personal experience, bro, it really do. When you're moving fast as hell, bro, those moments come in whispers, bro. They're not yelling at you, bro. It's so quiet, and the more you listen, it gets louder. But that's why I asked you. You know, I guess to pop this whole entire thing off in the beginning, like you know what I mean, with you listening to that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's always, like you said, like, especially like for people like us, it's like, we was going to go in this direction. It was destined. It was like the choice is already made. The path was already laid out. That you already know. But it's just like, in those moments where it's just like, this is real. This is real. And that voice is like, yo, you're going to do this tomorrow.
Yeah. You know exactly how it sounds, bro. That's exactly what it is. It's like, this is what you're gonna do right now, okay? Tomorrow,
and that's and it'd be like,
it's often serious,
and it's often serious, and oftentimes, like I got to the point where me personally in my life, it has gotten so deep with listening to that. It's just like me and that person is one and the same, and I know deep down with the source of it. You already know, man. Where it's coming from. I don't got a question where it's coming from or none of that. And it definitely comes from the Most High. And we got to understand that, you know what I mean? We got to have a strong relationship with our creator. But most people, you know what I mean? It's hard for them to get to that point, like straight up. I understand why, you know what I mean? I ain't going to sit here and act like, yo, why aren't you? Life is wild, bro. Life is OD. But the few, like you, Young Issy, let's say everything that you just said and have been saying and been like standing on preaching on even before, you know what I mean? I found your platform. It's a beautiful thing. And of course, I'm already hearing it in your voice. Ain't no stopping in sight.
No, sir.
Amazing.
I'm a runaway train. That's just my drive. Like, you cannot stop me. The only way to stop me is to stop me. But you know what way I'm talking about. That's the only way. That's the only way to stop me, y'all. Like, some real shit.
And I like, for me personally, truly, I hope you keep going, man. Which you know what I mean. I expect that you will, but I'm every single time, you know what I mean. I'm pretty sure this is not going to be the last time that, you know what I mean, I'm on your platform or you on my platform or vice versa.
Absolutely.
But
you'll be on mine soon.
At the end of the day, like you forever got my support at this point with what you're doing, like for real. And I thank you for even being on the podcast today, man.
Of course, man.
Thank you
for being here. Absolutely, sir.
And could you tell the people how they can find you and reach out to you, man?
Well, listen, you already know if I'm here, I'm everywhere. So on YouTube, Young Issy of We Are Evolution, just as it says in my name. And on Instagram, it's We Are Evolution 1. And there's only one of one. There's only one kind, and it's only me. So that's how you guys can find me. If you guys want to listen to, not if you want to, look up my music on Apple Music. It's ISSY, Cartel with a C, no K. You can find my new music. No Excuses out now. And I respect and I'm grateful to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, Young Issy. Like, we're gonna be plugging that all in the description as well. Yes, and yet again, man, like, we appreciate you for serving your purpose and taking your time out, your busy schedule, man, to come speak with us, man, for real. Thank you, bro, for real.
Thank you. I appreciate this.